Hey guys, welcome to the presentation. Today's topic is your guide to Morphic Fields, how to have results. Today's presentation will have four main parts, four main steps, and we will discuss the most important things to consider while creating your playlist and overall while using Morphic Fields, what things to consider and how to plan everything together to really long-term have some results and not only have some feelings and sensations to have results. My name is Filip. I'm also creator of Filip Morphic Fields and I've been spending time in the areas of spirituality and energetic tools, etc. I've been there for more than 10 years and I have tried everything, I have tested everything myself and the information that I'm trying to provide to you is only based on my experience and based on my experience only with what gave me and what didn't give me results. First, I want to start with a whole understanding about morphic fields and your subconscious mind, about your identity, about what morphic fields do in your body. Your subconscious mind is kind of a computer that is running in your background, and this computer, it's like in a PC game. It contains all the information about your character, all the things that will be created in your game, and all the attributes. It contains all the attributes of your character as well. Important word here to remember is homeostasis. It's balance. Your subconscious over the years has found in collaboration with your nervous system things that feel safe, that feels kind of repetitive and normal to it, normal to your subconscious, normal to your nervous system, and it has built the whole identity around those things, and those things are considered normal to you. They are what your thermostat is set on. They are your base point, your baseline. And every time you are trying to step out of your homeostasis to really change the temperature on your thermostat, it kind of fights back, and your subconscious, your nervous system is always trying to pull you back to what is safe and what is known to it. And this way I see that this is the main reason why people struggle having results with reprogramming of their subconscious in general, with using energetic tools in general. And those tools, those doesn't have to be only morphic fields. It could be subliminals, it could be frequencies, it could be affirmations, it could be anything. It's important to keep in mind that all these energetic tools, those are just informational inputs that you are putting into your system. And as we said earlier, your system is set on certain baseline level, and it's trying to keep this baseline level, because keeping this baseline level over the years has kept you safe and alive. This is how your subconscious and your nervous system sees your identity. It kept you alive, it's safe, it's something that is familiar to you, and it tries to stay this way. In the best case scenario, it tries to stay this way forever. And you are the one that is consciously coming into the setup of this system and that is trying to change the data, but the whole system is trying to stay as it is. Depending on how deeply rooted certain parts of your identity that you are trying to change are, depending on that, you will need to put more or less effort into rewriting those things. And by rewriting, in our example, I mean rewriting using morphic fields. So if you keep all this information in mind, and this is a really important intro for anyone that is listening to fields, you need to plan things. This is the first important step. You need to plan your goals. When I started listening to Morphic Fields, when I started with sapient medicine, I started with testosterone. I saw results, and then I started looking at all the new releases, all the new fields, and when you have so many options, it feels like you are missing out. It feels like you want to try everything. You want to try this field for the week, this field for the week, this field for today. Yes, there will be some sensations and some changes happening, but probably because the exposure to the field will be very infrequent and very short, probably your system will return back to its baseline. So you will not accomplish anything lasting or anything permanent listening to Morphic Fields this way. You need to plan your goals, grab a piece of paper and write down most important goals and just divide them by numbers, by importance. And let's say that for the next 6 months, I will focus on these 3 important topics. I will start with this topic because it is most important for me. Let's say it could be changing your business. And when I put enough energy, intention, and the other things that we will discuss also in the presentation to the topic, over time, in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on how well it goes, I can add another topic or change the topic. But you know, it's really important to, if you want to really have results, the slow way is the fastest way. What I do, I plan a year ahead. Sometimes it changes in the year, but I try to have some broad structure a year ahead, and I just go slowly one topic after another, and I'm trying to stick to those topics for as long as I see permanent changes to my reality. And then I just maybe listen to fields from time to time from the previous topic just to refresh it, but this way I noticed that the results are lasting. You need to put into effort, and in later part of the presentation I will discuss other things that you can also do to maximize the results with fields, but this is the first step. Plan your goals. So let's move to another part of presentation. This is step number 2. So right now, let's say you have picked 2-3 most important goals, and it's time to assign the most bang for your buck, or how is it said in English, the most relevant fields to those topics, and try to pick less fields. Picking less fields is generally better than having a never-ending playlist. So you pick your fields, and now it's time to make a routine around it. Frequency and consistency is key. Remember, you are giving new inputs to your subconscious baseline every day, and your goal is to change this baseline, change the homeostasis around certain topics. So you need to have a routine, you need to be consistent, and you need to do the things that we will also discuss later in the presentation. Do them daily as they are of the same importance as, for example, brushing your teeth in the morning. So you assign fields and you create a daily routine that you will stick to consistently no matter what, because frequency and consistency beats everything, and reprogramming of your subconscious works with repetition. And how many reps you need to do, it depends on how deeply rooted are the things that you are trying to change. Priming the system. Priming the system is, what I mean by that is, when you start with areas or topics that are easier to achieve, and when you start having results with fields, it does some really magical thing. With each success that you have, you are telling your subconscious that changes using fields are possible, that they are not as hard to achieve as you previously thought, and that Morphic Fields as a tool to creating the changes to your character, to your game, are relevant, or whatever English word fits here. This is what I call by priming the system. So when you take the slow way of planning your goals, planning your fields, sticking to routine, focusing on one topic or 2 topics at a time, and over time, in the course of months, you start having permanent changes, lasting results, you are also rebuilding the whole software around Morphic Fields. And this is key, because it allowed me, over the years of using 𝗙𝗶𝗹𝗶 medicine's Morphic Fields, it allowed me to completely change my perspective around the topic of fields. And now my subconscious mind is really open to working with energetic tools, and the more I use them, the faster the results are, because I have previous positive experience. And what it does, it also works the other way around. If you are just impatient, you are changing fields too frequently, you are not putting your intention into the changes, and over time you have very little to no results, then you will also change your perception around fields, and over time it will be harder and harder for you to have results with fields, because if you have results with fields or not, it's also dependent, it's mostly dependent on your subconscious mind, and everybody's systems is different. Everybody reacts to fields differently. It's because how their filters around working with fields is set up. So this is what I mean by priming the system. Start with topics that are easier to achieve, and if you have previous success, then over time it will be easier and easier to build momentum with making changes faster and easier. Let's go to step number 3. Step number 3 is consistency, action, and feedback. Consistency was already discussed. Consistency is what builds the momentum. Frequent listening, consistent listening based on your routine is key to making the changes, because repetition makes the changes possible. Another overlooked part, most of the people are not talking about talking about morphic fields, is action. And intentional or inspired action that is aligned with your goals and with the fields that you are listening to will greatly accelerate the whole process, because you are kind of allowing for the new manifestation channels of your goals to your game, to your reality. What I mean by that, if you just listen, for example, to some fields to improve your business, maybe abundance mindset, maybe you're listening to fame fields, but you're just listening to fields and you do not take physical action, it's very hard to open up new channels when the game could bless you with abundance and with fame. And this action could be as little things as building a new website, talking to new people, promoting your business, doing whatever is aligned with your overall future self, with your future identity that you are also trying to become, using the fields as accelerator. So action is one overlooked factor of your fields routine, and second is feedback. I think that journaling is one of the most overlooked tools in any energetic work. I've been journaling for at least 10 years, and I'm trying to journal daily. Sometimes it doesn't work, but in most days I do it. And I'm also writing down what changes in perception of reality I have, different thoughts, different reactions, different mental states. I also try to journal some synchronicities, things that are happening to me, some stuff that are connected to the fields I'm listening to, and I'm trying to monitor all the changes. And when when you consciously acknowledge those changes, for example by journaling, you are greatly accelerating the whole process of change, because you are making the unconscious or the subconscious conscious. You are bridging the gap between the subconscious and conscious mind this way. And you don't need to journal much. You can just write down few sentences every day. For example, somebody called me today, somebody gave me good feedback on my fields today, and I have new ideas about my Morphic Fields project that I'm trying to incorporate in the future. And that's it. And write down every day also what it does when you look back and look back on the previous weeks, months of what you journaled. You will see all the progress you made, because when you are caught up in the present moment, when you are caught up in the now, our minds tend to only focus on the negative things, only on the things that don't work well. But when you look back, you can see all the journey that you have taken so far, and it will motivate you, because in the moment it seems slow, but when you look back, you realize how fast you are progressing and how many changes have you done over the period of your shadow work. Let's go to step number 4. And step number 4 is just the whole summary of everything that was said today. Step number 4, it's similar to bodybuilding and to doing sports. That is also my passion. It's just sticking to your routine, no matter how you feel, no matter what the day it is. You have your plans, and every day you are trying to cross them all out, all the planned stuff from your routine. That's just it. And overall, the repetition will eventually beat everything, and you will eventually jump and make the changes that you are trying to accomplish. Different topics could take different time for different people. Some things could take a week, a month, or a year, depending on how big of a change that you are trying to achieve. But eventually, believe me with this, if you never stop, you can never lose. You just stick to your routine or adjust a little in the progress when you see that it could be done better way, but stick to your routine for as long as necessary until you start seeing some real changes to your game. Most of the people want everything right now, and this is one of the aspects of this physical game, of this reality. It's that things take time. You just keep that in mind. Morphic fields are great tools. You can use them to your advantage to speed up the whole process of any change that you are trying to achieve, like greatly speed up the whole process of change. And it just takes some effort, some consistency and repetition on your end, but eventually, in the end, you will always get what you want if you never stop. My name is Filip. Thank you for watching the video. Also, I want to give you one extra underrated tip, and this tip is always try to meditate while listening to fields. If you always try to meditate while listening to fields, you will connect to them much better, you will focus your intention on the field much better. There will be just no distraction, no noise. Also, when you meditate, you are in different brainwave state, and in slower brainwave state, the information is accepted by your subconscious much easier than just looping the field in the background and like cooking or working. It also works, but meditating and putting your intentional focus on the field is golden. And this is what I do when I listen to fields. I don't listen to much fields every day. I just have 1 or 2 big topics right now that I'm working on. But I'm always save some time in the day. I lay on the bed, play the fields, close my eyes, enjoy the process in the day, and when it's finished, I finish. And that's it. I go about my day. Thank you for watching, and see you at the next presentation.